Beautiful world, where are you? A rich brat living on dad's money who will inherit all his family wealth, get any car he wants, any girl he lays his finger on, and owns everything in the world. That is the kind of image people would have of me, unless they really know who I am. Yes, I'm rich, but not a brat. My dad does have money, but it's not mine. I do love cars, and as for girls, well, let's see where that goes. I was invited to the family meeting earlier this morning. It was a sudden call that my driver got me. I rushed back from the golf court, one of my hobbies that I pursue every weekend. As I reached home and sat with my dad and his few business mates, my family owns one of the most important car brands, Gabbana, in the country. They have been in the market for more than 20 years. It was founded by my uncle, Rufus, who after managing for 10 years died in a car accident. I have always admired him. He created a brand that felt necessary to every rich or elite person. He created a dream, a vision that I wanted to pursue ever since I was a child. Oliver, now that you have returned from London after finishing your studies, I hope you know what's next for you, said Albert Arnold, my dad and Gabbana's owner. Yes, Dad, I know it. How can I not? It's what I've dreamt about ever since I was a child. Cars are not just business for me, but my passion. Just as you told me, I know you were talking about holding me company's responsibility, I replied. Yes, but there is a difference now. I don't want you to have just a mere responsibility. I have decided to make you a partner of the company. A partial owner, which can be turned into a whole owner if you prove it to me. But son, Gabbana is not the same anymore. I just want to warn you that there are a few challenges with investors in our current designs. Your uncle and I ran the company and I built it for my generation. Now it's your job to build it for yours, he said, trying to make me understand the density of this work. I understand, Dad, and I will do whatever is required to bring Gabbana back, I said, looking at him and his trustworthy business mates assuring everyone. I believe in you. Now I want you to start from today. Take some time and visit the company. And remember one thing. Know your people, he said, patting my shoulders. Know your people is something my father has been telling me ever since I was a kid. It seems like a warning he gives me to protect me from the world, an advice my mother passed on to him, and now he's passing it on to me. The time arrived when things will change radically for me. As I arrived at the building, I decided not to introduce myself as a partner so that I can be more friendlier with the people and they can be more honest with me. I know it will be easier for me to blend in because here is the thing. My girlfriend Tessa is also an employee here, our designer, the best we have had. I was so attracted to her when I first saw her, as she was the first woman I saw working so passionately in the field here at Gabbana. Since then, we started dating, and it's been a wonderful year. Sometimes things did feel incomplete, but maybe it's just the distance between us that we had because we were long distance, and I would only meet her during holidays. She understands the company better. She's been working here for way longer than I have known. She comes to greet me professionally on what we decided and gives me a company tour. I take a tour of the company and meet all the workers, introducing myself as the new manager. In the midst of the staff, my eyes fell on a tall figure with broad shoulders and a lean waist. His silhouette was very charming. Meet Jordan, the gem of a designer. He has designed some of the best models for upcoming cars, said Tessa. He was a man on the cutting edge and attractive. Hello, Oliver, he said with a gentle smile, extending his hands for a shake. As I took his hands, I felt a shiver run down my spine. That is probably the first attraction that Jordan and I felt, and it was inevitable. I quickly shook my head to get out of my thoughts, and cleared my head. Nice to meet you, Jordan. Hope we can create something great together, I said, before moving on. All this seems rosy. Tessa's pretty much my right hand in the company. She seems like the perfect woman for me, or rather, a perfect person my father would approve for me. For some reason, he always made sure to build his fear in me that I need his approval for every step I take. I still haven't understood why, but maybe it's his way of protecting me. Later that evening, my dad and I sat for dinner and I showed him all the ideas that I got for the company. He looks deeply proud of the ideas I have for the company. Before I start any further conversation, my father warns me about, in Gabbana's situation, he says, that we are not at our best. We need new ideas and a new image. I excitedly accepted the challenge and set out to make it happen. Don't worry, Dad, I got this. Plus, we have some really great employees at the company, like Jordan. His work today was amazing. Before I realized, I overspoke, regretting it instantly. Jordan, yes, that kid. Your mother found him in an art studio. She got us a gem, he told me, which made me smile. Dinner gets over and I go back to my room. It was a tiring yet exciting day today. It does seem challenging after knowing the company's situation, but I have made a promise to bring the company back. For my uncle, Rufus, who built his dream and showed me where I belong. A week passed by at work and I got busier than usual. I understood the depth of our crisis more and started working on the gaps. Although it was hard for me to understand how a company that was doing so well until a few years ago suddenly started to go down. I left my thoughts aside and started working on new designs. I called a few of my employees, including Tessa, to form a team separately for research and designing that I will be personally leading. "Hi," said Tessa, secretly rubbing my back as she entered my cabin. "Hello there," I said, with a smile, moving towards her, but stopped as the door flung open, revealing other people in Jordan. This week went differently with all interactions with Jordan. His energy is very engaging. That keeps pulling me to notice him every once in a while. We sat down at the table to discuss. "Now everyone, you are all working for a longer time than I am, and understand this company better. But there are a few changes I will have to make. Hope you all contribute," I say firmly. I decided to make Tessa team lead as I trust her the most. She surely is my right hand in the business. After a while, the meeting ends and everyone heads out except the guy with the perfect silhouette, Jordan. I must be crazy to call him that. "Do you need something?" I ask him. "There is a dinner tonight at my place with some of the company heads and employees. I was hoping you could join us, Oliver." He called my name in a way I had never heard before. Yeah, sure, I will come." I nodded my head, trying to act cool, but felt excited from the inside. "Okay, I will send you the address then, Oliver." There, again he called my name that way, and I pretended to be cool and not burst into a smile. That night, I went to dinner at his luxurious apartment. Elegant, full of works of art and delicious food. I couldn't help but notice each and every wall. It was perfectly put together. No wonder everyone knows how incredible he is at his work. It's shown everywhere, at the office, in his home, on the walls, and even on his face. A perfect beauty. I attended alone since Tessa excused herself for a fashion show she had in Madrid. It was nice, not as awkward as I thought it would be. I spoke to a lot of people I haven't met in a week. The dinner passed naturally. After a good meal, some good conversation, and Jordan making me feel as comfortable as possible. Soon, without me realizing, everyone left and I was alone standing in the corner of his living room, leaning on the sofa and admiring the painting on the wall. It was a painting of the ocean colliding with the sky, a perfect horizon under sunlight. It was mesmerizing. I was just admiring the strokes as I felt a presence next to me. These are more precious to me than anything else in the world. I was 14 when I first made that painting. My dad took us to the beach and I stayed out the entire day making that painting, said Jordan. I looked at him, seeing the sincerity in his eyes. These are the most perfect waves I have ever seen. I will never be able to paint that. Wait, you paint? He asked in surprise. Yeah, sometimes. With my mom, just for fun, I replied, scratching the back of my head. Show me, he said, turning towards me. I turned back to him. I'm not sure about that part. I don't paint all that well, I said. Without noticing, we were dangerously close to each other. Leave that on me to find out, he said, closing the distance between us and pressing his lips against mine. We kissed until the glass of wine left from my hand, bringing us to end the kiss. I'm sorry, I'll clean it, I said, panicking. Not because of the glass, but because of what just happened. I don't know how to react. I don't know if I was the alcohol or something else, but I liked it. Actually, I love what happened, but it's still surreal to me. I should get going, I said. Sure, see you tomorrow, and thanks for coming, he said, a bit nervous, yet smiling. I nodded my head and left. The entire car ride, I kept thinking about the kiss. I've kissed Tessa 100 times, yet I haven't felt this before. It was surely an electric love, or just wine. The week goes by routinely at the company, and I started taking care of the management with Tessa. She supports me with the designs. The idea for myself more involved in the collection comes from herself, so she proposes that I supervise the proposals for the show every day, which translates to more time with Jordan. Not like I'm complaining, but I still don't know how to deal with what happened the other day. But right now, it's not the time to focus on that. It took me a lot to earn the trust of some new investors as why they should invest in the new collection. I prepared myself with 10 new models which Tessa, Jordan, Leon, and another very talented employee and I made together day and night. We were given an order to design 100 models, out of which the best 8 will be finalized and launched within the next 3 years, and that will change the image of Gabbana. Well, hopefully it will. We are working very hard on this. The first show is almost here and we started overnight work. 3 more days, guys, and I promise you we can have a day off and do whatever you want. But just surrender yourself for the next 3 days to me and I assure you, you won't regret this. I said to them to bring in some motivation. I have, said Jordan, who was standing next to me. What? I asked. He came closer to me and whispered in my ears. I have surrendered myself to you, Oliver. He said that and left me speechless, standing there. Tessa leaves us for a week as she has some more important commitments with her friends. I asked her, the show is almost here. Is it more important than the show? Yes, I can't leave that. It's really important and personal, so I can't really tell you. Besides, I have full trust in you. We are so near and I know this will be great, she said, and left. Although one good thing about that is, it gives Jordan and me some time together. Resisting feelings is dangerous. The only thing that is achieved is that it is forbidden, further dampens the desire. Yes, I was desiring him, and I needed to know if it was me or the wine that night, so I decided to send everyone home except Jordan. Where's everyone? He asked. Oh well, we're almost done, and I only needed you for the remaining work. Oh, okay, let's get done with it then, he said, while walking inside my cabin. Yes, let's get done with this. I cannot wait anymore, I said, to which he clearly did not rebel. I gently pushed him to the walls, holding him closer by his neck. You have no idea how long I've waited for this, Oliver. If you keep saying my name like that, then I won't be able to hold myself back, Jordan. Is it Oliver? Fuck it. I pressed my lips on his and kissed him deeply, which soon turned into a makeup session, which later ended both of us on the sofa in my cabin. All naked, where we made love to each other for the first time. It was the best day of my life. I felt a lost connection, not just with him, but also with myself. I felt the love, the joy, and the strength rushing into me. I love you, Oliver Arnold, he whispered, looking into my eyes, which left goosebumps on my body. I love you too, Jordan, I said, and fell asleep in his arms, with our bodies tangled together. The next 3 days passed exactly this way. If not, then maybe with more makeout sessions in every possible corner where no one could see us. We launched the collection in the show and it was a success. They approved our ideas, which means we can move forward with the next set of designs and have another show soon. To celebrate the success, we had a small get-together at Jordan's house. Well, the small includes only me and him. I swear, we kissed on every sofa, every chair, on his bed, and much more than that. But that certainly wasn't the highlight because Jordan did something unexpected. Here, come with me, he said, holding my hand and bringing me down the stairs. Where are we going? I never saw this part of your house. Oh, well, lucky you, mister, he replied. Are you secretly planning on killing me? If so, then let me at least go wear my clothes, I said, chuckling. No need for that. Just trust me, Oliver. I swear, there is something different about the person you love calling your name. It's just not the same as everyone else calling you. We reached a dim room, which soon became bright as we entered. Some sort of automatic lights, I guess. But what it revealed was wonderful. It was a room full of canvas and paints and brushes. Some unfinished paintings, and there he was, standing, Jordan, holding a sketch. Jordan, this is amazing, dude. I know, Olive. There's something I want you to do for me, he asked me. Did you just call me Olive? I said, laughing. Yes, he said, booping my nose. Okay, what do you want me to do? Paint me, he said. What? Yes, I want you to paint me. I don't know what the future holds, but I want to keep you close to me. Painting is something that's closer to both of us, as my mother loved to paint, and I saw her paint all the time as a kid. So there's no better way to do this. So now, Oliver, hold this sketch, use whatever you want, and paint me. Anywhere you like. This is all yours, he said, pointing at his naked body. Well, I can't say no to that. He sits on a chair and I stand in front of him, looking at what I should paint. After a few minutes, I give a small smile and walk towards him. I sit on his lap, facing him. I think I know what I'm going to paint on you, I said, and started the work. 20 minutes later, after sitting on him, making out in between and teasing him a little, I finished, and I was so proud of it. Let me see it, he says, getting up really fast and excited. We walk back to his room where he runs towards the mirror. An olive branch, he said, looking at me and smiled. Very clever, Oliver. he said, making me chuckle, and ran towards me to engulf me in a hug. That night was wonderful. The next day I woke up and I saw my phone, which had a few notifications. I started clearing them until I saw a notification. Jordan posted a story in a while. I smiled and opened the Instagram. I clicked on the story and my eyes widened. It was his collarbone, which now had a tattoo of the olive branch I drew on him last night. I replied to his story by saying, "You're crazy." "I had to preserve it before the leaves fell off," he replied, making me laugh. One show went after the other with sleepless nights and also the most lovable and lustful ones with Jordan. Surprisingly, Tessa started being busier than usual every time the show gets near, but that just gave me more time with Jordan, so I got nothing to complain about. I still haven't told Tessa about what's going on, nor am I planning to anytime soon. I try to give her as much time as possible, but now we started to have some misunderstandings between us. "You're barely here with me, Oliver. I try to make plans, but you're so engrossed in the work that you don't have time for me," she said last night while we were arguing. "It's not true. You aren't even here most of the time, so I have to carry the burden of both of us in the company and handle your job as well," I said, frustrated. "Oh, so I'm a burden now? I don't go out having fun? I go out and meet investors so we can have more people for our company? We have grown so distant, Oliver. You might as well just tell me if you're having an affair," she said, making me go numb. How did she know? "What are you talking about, Tessa?" "Well, tell me, are you cheating on me with the new intern or something? I've heard everyone say that she is hot or whatever." "Hey, Tess, no, I don't even know who you're talking about. Please, just calm down and take some time off work. And I mean complexity. Don't go over the States to sign any deal, just stay here and rest." I told her to leave her apartment. I still have some work left at the office as tomorrow is our 8th show. I'm so proud that we got so far. Just a month more and we'll be signing the biggest deals of all time. I go inside my cabin to see the light on. I notice a figure standing. "Hello?" I say, moving in. "Hey there," I identified from the voice that it's Jordan. "What are you doing here?" "I just came to see you," he said, coming closer. We kissed for a while and I started working. It was a great mix of work and romance. We kept hugging, kissing, teasing each other in the middle. Today's a big day. I walk in the office, ready to put our 8th show to the end, until I am pulled by someone in an empty space. "Tessa, what are you doing?" I said, removing my hand from her grip. "You thought I would never find out, huh?" "Guess I was partially right," she said with an angry voice. "Find what and write about what?" "We have a lot of work. I don't have time for this, Tessa." "Exactly. You don't have time for me anymore, because all your time is taken by Jordan." She spat the words out sharply. "Wait, how did you—" "I followed you yesterday and saw everything. Your little fling has ruined us now," she said, leaving me shocked. "Listen, Tessa, I'm sorry. It's a sudden attraction. I don't know when it started or what happened, but before I knew it, we were together, and we like each other," I said, being honest. "Listen, I don't care about what happened, but I don't think you realize the responsibility you have. Let me tell you this. You don't have anything. You have no investors yet, no final deals, and no savings to save Gabbana. Your family hid it from you, but I can't anymore. You're going bankrupt, and if you don't stop your fling and focus on work, I'm telling your father, and we both know how that will turn out," said Tessa. "I didn't know any of it. I had no idea we were in this condition. Why did no one tell me anything? This is so confusing," I said with teary eyes. I was taken aback and my head was foggy. There was nothing to be confused about. Just do as I say and repair the damage you have done. Leave Jordan and focus on Gabbana, she said, and with that, she left. I somehow pulled the courage and finished the show. I decided to do as she says because Gabbana is very important to me and my family. But so is Jordan. It felt like I was in a pit, going in every second. But I had to choose, so I chose Gabbana over him. 3 weeks later, I started focusing on my business. I haven't had a chance to stay with Jordan alone again. Or more like, I never let the chance come, but in these 3 weeks, Jordan didn't ask me a single thing. It's like he understood everything and tried to make my life as easy as possible, and still somehow managed to make me happy. He would try to have small interactions between us by offering me coffee, helping me pick designs, etc. Everything related to business, but still somehow about us. The distance with him couldn't stop me from loving him. Seeing his efforts, my heart just melted every day. So I decided to talk to him for once. Jordan tried to be with me in every way possible. He knew my addiction for coffee and kept leaving me cups of it every day with some hidden notes to cheer me up. Not just that, but also offered me to work overtime, and he would give me hints to take rest by stepping in my work. Jordan, stay back, I ordered him, like a boss after the meeting ended and everyone left. Hey, he said in his soft, muffled voice. Jordan, I know I've been acting like a dick, but I have no other choice. Trust me, I say, holding his hands. I know, I figured out what would have happened, and I got to know from your father that you know the company's truth. I'm sorry, I can't do anything to help you at the moment, Oliver. He said, understanding me. Hey, no, you're helping me just by being here. Seeing you makes me less stressed, and it motivates me to work more, so I can save the company, and then I can be with you without any hindrance, I said, connecting our heads. I should go now and get back to work, he said, smiling, and left after planting a kiss on my forehead. We were this close after so many weeks, it felt so peaceful. Next week was a normal week, until one morning my dad called me to the hospital in an emergency, where I got to know that my mother has cancer, and the worst part is we don't have the money for her treatment. I was broken. It was just getting worse and worse for me. I had given so much to Gabbana, and yet we didn't make any great profits. I was hopeless and helpless. I had no place to find peace at. I loved my mother so much. I can't afford to lose her after losing Uncle Rufus. I couldn't think straight and called Jordan to meet me near the hospital. I told him everything, and he was devastated. He hugged me and tried comforting me for as long as he could. I asked him to go to work and handle everything as I wanted to stay with my mother today. He went back to the office and I stayed at the hospital. A few hours later, I decided to go home and get some fresh clothes for myself and Dad. I got home and saw Tessa there. What are you doing here, Tessa? I have to tell you something. It's about Jordan, she said. Look, I'm doing what you asked me to do, okay? I know. I saw that today after meeting, but anyways, I just thought you should know this. Jordan has been selling our company for the last year. Our ideas and our investors. That's why we started going downhill all of a sudden. What are you even saying? Do you hear yourself? I do, and you need to hear me as well. Look at these papers. They are signed under different company names, and these are the design only our team has. I rechecked with them and I got to know that Jordan is selling our designs, our plans to others for money. For this stupid money, he was using you, Oliver, he said, slamming the papers on my hands. I read everything again and again, and it was just so hard to believe. I took my keys and drove straight to Jordan's house. I was angry, helped but more than betrayed. I trusted him with everything. I wanted my answers. As I reached his place, I stomped inside, only to notice Jordan sitting with some men having wine together. As I got closer, I heard him say, "So it's a deal then?" And the guy replied, "Yeah, deal." What the hell, Jordan? Is this how you repay me for my love and trust? I screamed, bashing in. Oliver, what are you doing here? He said, coming closer. What the hell are you doing, Jordan? How can you be this evil? First you sold my company and now you're having an affair with him? Signing off deals? What are you talking about, Oliver? Sold your company? What? Just go to hell, man. I hate you, Jordan. I hate you, I said and left. That night I spent in my basement. It was after a long time I felt so desperate to let this out now. I picked up my trunk where I kept all my poems and started writing. I was crying, had collars all over me, but I couldn't care less. I just kept writing and writing until I fell on the ground. I was woken up by Mom the next day. She was gently stroking my hair and reading the poem I wrote last night. Mom, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at the hospital? I asked, worried. The doctor said I could go home. There's still time for surgery and I can rest better here. But child, what have you done last night? This is beautiful. I have never read a work of art this beautiful. What are you even doing to yourself? Just go work in the damn gallery. I know your passion for writing, your real talent, Oliver, she said, making me sit straight. Mom, no, my passion is Gabbana. That's the dream Dad made me see since I was a child. Writing is just what, Oliver? Your dream? Your real passion? Your father made you see the dream of Galena, but have you ever thought of what's the dream you wanted to see? Where does your happiness lie? Listen to your heart and know your people, she said, making me realize the truth. But I can't give up on Gabbana, especially when we need the money for my mom's treatment. There was something that I wanted to tell my mom before it's too late. Even though my mom says she knows me well, I am sure she doesn't know this part about me well. Mom, I wanted to tell you something. Yes, what is it, son? I'm gay and I'm dating Jordan. I want you to know that I'm very happy about it. I'm happy with him. Oh, Oliver, I had no idea. How did it happen? She stuttered a bit. I don't know, Mom. I guess I always was this way, but when I saw Jordan, things changed. I knew it's him that will keep me happy. Well, I don't have much to say, but I want to tell you that I am happy in what you are happy. I have heard from your father about Jordan, and I know he is a nice guy, but son, it is not an easy journey. You will have many people questioning you, but just know I will be here with you, always. Know your people, Oliver. I decided to move on from everything and just focus on the final 10th show. I had less time and too many distractions, but I decided to stay focused on Gabbana. Jordan kept trying to talk to me and text me, meet me, anything that he can make me listen to him, but I was so hurt that I blocked all the ways for him. It was the day of the show, our final one, which will decide the future of Galena, and I was sure that it will be good. I started preparing for the deals that are about to come our way until I heard some noise coming from Tessa's cabin. I went closer and saw Gabriel, our most trustworthy investor and partner, signing a deal with Tessa. I stood there and heard everything. It was Tessa. All this while, all the deals she made while being abroad were always against us. It was her stealing our clients and investors for her own company, and she blamed everything on Jordan. I was about to open the door until I felt someone's hand on my shoulder. Oliver, please, just listen to me once. You have been avoiding me for so many weeks. Just give me a chance, please, please, please. Yes, Jordan, I said, cutting him off. He took us to my office and he told me what happened that day. I was not having an affair, nor am I having any. I decided to sell some of my paintings to get money for your mom's treatment, Oliver. He was a client who just made a deal to buy him. How can I even think of leaving you for anybody else? Jordan, I am so sorry. I was totally manipulated and misunderstood you. I was so wrong. Please forgive me. I said, getting closer to him, hoping he would forgive me. I then explained everything that happened with Tessa, how she blamed Jordan for the mistakes she did. I don't have any reason to be angry with you. I never was. I just want us to be together and stay strong for your mother, for Gabbana, and for us, he said, and embraced me into a hug. My phone suddenly rang and I broke the hug. It was my dad's call. Oliver, come to the hospital right now. We are taking your mother. She fainted in the kitchen. Please rush soon, son, he said, sounding worried. Jordan, I have to go, I said immediately, carrying my bag. What happened? He asked me. My mother, she fainted. I don't have time to explain. I need to go, I said, while almost sobbing. Hey, I will drive you. You don't look like you're in the condition to drive, he said, and I accepted it quickly. We rushed to the hospital as soon as possible, but when I reached, the sight was confusing. My dad was crying hard and had all his guards around him. My steps became slow. I somehow walked towards him. Dad, where's Mom? I asked in a slow voice, someone not ready to hear the answer. She is no more, son. We lost her on the way. We lost your mother, he said, crying. My legs went numb and fell on the ground. The world went blurry for me. I remember Jordan coming and holding me, but I was too shocked to say anything. A week later. A week has passed since my mom's funeral. The state of our house and my mind was blank. We were all too shocked and vulnerable to talk to each other, but I knew I can't be weak. I have no idea how our last show went, but Jordan did tell me that he handled it, and he tried his best to keep Tessa out of the way. I was sitting in the hall with my dad and hearing a loud bang. I turned behind and saw Tessa walking in. What the hell, Oliver? Why am I not allowed to enter the company? And why was I asked to move from the show last week? Tessa, right now is not the time. Get out of here, I said. What happened? What's wrong? My dad asked, looking confused. Dad, nothing. Just go in. I will handle her. Handle me, huh? Aren't you busy handling Jordan? She blurted out. Tessa, shut up and leave, I shouted. What is she talking about? My dad asked. I ignored him and stood up. Listen, I know what you are doing and I know what you have done. I heard and saw you signing the deals with our investors and selling them designs that I made day and night for Gabbana, not for your company. And you blamed it all on Jordan. You kept deceiving me for months, and I was mad to listen to you and believe you over everyone. You blamed me and kept draining me to work for Gabbana, but you kept on ruining my hard work. What? Tessa, is this true? My dad asked, standing up. We weren't recovered from the shock of my mother's death, and this came crashing to him. Yes, Dad, it's true. And you know what? I'm calling the police. You're done, Tessa. Well, if I'm going down, then you're going down with me, she said. What? Well, let me tell you this, sir. Your son is having an affair with Jordan. From the last few months, every single day they've been together, she said, leaving everyone in shock. Tessa, stop, I said. Oliver, is this true? My dad asked. Dad, please, let me explain. I'm sure you will understand, I said, looking at him. But firstly, I asked security to kick Tessa out. Dad, please understand. I love Jordan. I have been so happy and tried to do everything for the company with his great help. We make a good team, Dad, and I genuinely love him. I kept explaining to him for hours, but he didn't say a word. I cannot accept this. This will bring down our reputation. Your future is Gabbana, not Jordan, and he needs to leave the company, he said, leaving me disheartened. No, you are wrong. My future is not Gabbana. It is your future that you kept pushing onto me, and you changed my reality. You don't even know what your own son likes. I don't want to work for cars. I want to paint. Seriously? So you will leave a company this big just to be a painter? He said, insulting me. Do you even know how the lives of painters are? You won't be able to afford a meal. You'll live on the streets. You'll have no future without me. You never lived on your own money, so don't even dream about anything else and focus on the company. Save Gabbana and yourself, if you don't want to end up on the streets, he continued. His every word broke my heart, but then I remember what my mother told me, to love what I do and know my people, and I knew Jordan was my person. No, Dad, you're wrong. You always were. If you can't accept me, then this should end here. My mother believed in me, and I won't fail her. I'm leaving you and Gabbana. Good luck with your life and your company. I chose Jordan. I chose my poems. I chose a life that I will build on my own. Goodbye, Dad. Conclusion. Oliver and Jordan both left Gabbana the next day and moved to another country. Jordan posted some of my stories and poems to the publishers without Oliver's notice, which soon got accepted. They opened their own gallery and bookstore named after Oliver's mother, Jane, where Oliver sold his books and Jordan sold his paintings. Oliver sold his very first poem book on the day of inauguration, the one he wrote when everything broke down for him, but his mother held him and comforted him. They spent most of their time together, exploring, kissing, and living their life together. Gabbana eventually ended after what Tessa did, and Oliver's father decided to sell the company. He made peace with himself and decided to spend the rest of his life in his hometown. Tessa was put behind bars for all of her crimes, and Oliver won the case against her, leaving him the compensation which he donated to NGOs later. Oliver and Jordan fulfilled their dream and once again proved that love doesn't have any form. It just happens, anytime, with anyone. Do you think it was the right choice to leave the company, or do you believe in choosing love and happiness above everything else? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become part of our Rainbow Force, and stay wholesome.